Cheers. Alcohol, hot take today, or an unpopular opinion. Alcohol and AI are not your best friend. Why do I say this? Because I have experienced alcohol firsthand not being my best friend, even though we always used to think it was when we were younger. And AI, I like AI as a tool. I'm a late adopter to artificial intelligence. I think it's an important tool, but when you cross a line between thinking that it's a tool and having it help and enhance you to do things better, be a better whatever it is that you want to be, help your business in ways to automate so you can compete with other businesses. When you cross the line from believing that, it's like believing your own press, right? If you start to believe your own press, what happens? Your ego takes over. You only listen to the people that agree with you, and all of a sudden you're making decisions and choices that actually suck and are bad for your business. Happening with AI, I see it every single day. I know so many business owners, coaches, people in every industry that have, I call it going over to the dark side. They have become inhuman by using AI as a substitute for who they really are and letting AI do everything for them. I am actually creating an AI clone to help me do things that I am struggling with doing. Things like processing my videos because of my visual challenges. But I'm not using it to create everything for me, to do everything for me. And I think that we're going to see a big divide coming up. And this is just my opinion in terms of the people that use AI to become more human and the people that use AI just to earn a quick buck and get ahead. And believe me, there are lots and lots of those people right now. So you get to decide which are you. Just like with alcohol, you get to choose and decide when and how much you're going to consume. We always get that choice, but when we're younger, we're not necessarily wise enough to know that we have that choice. So why do I want to even talk about this as part of our focus on physical health and well-being? Because as business owners and leaders, we have the opportunity to set a good example or be a warning for the people that we impact. And as business owners, we generally impact a whole lot more people than we even realize. I was thinking about, and I didn't get an exact number, but I was trying to get a ballpark number of people that I impacted just with one of my businesses, my Italian food manufacturing business. And it was literally millions of people. Don't even know how you calculate that. I guess you could take the number of items sold, and assuming everybody that bought it actually consumed it, that means they were impacted. So millions and millions and millions of people. And I think that there's intent to everything that we do and everything we produce, especially as business owners, and people understand that intent, or they sense that at a feelings level or an emotional level or an energetic level, even if they don't understand why they're sensing it. So we're either being an example or we're being a warning. So why do we care about alcohol? Number one, alcohol is a neurotoxin, meaning it's toxic to our nervous system, and it's also a carcinogen, meaning it deteriorates things. Have you ever heard the expression, you lose 5 brain cells every time you have alcohol or something? I don't remember what it was. That's back from the day when I was still a kid. I grew up in Wisconsin in the 1970s, which meant the drinking age was 18. So that equated to pretty much everyone in my high school had at least tasted alcohol, if not been inebriated, or going to a kegger party in the fields, etc. Yes, we did do those kind of things back then. And guess what? They were a lot of fun. The most fun part was when the police came to break it up and we all had to scurry and run away like little ants or rabbits or something. So even moderate drinking actually has health risks for us. It disrupts our sleep. I don't know about you, but have you ever gone out and got really, really inebriated and then went home and the bed's spinning and you're trying to sleep and you're not sleeping, so you end up laying there awake feeling terrible all night? I didn't do that very many times before I learned, maybe that's not the right behavior for me and I should count. And I actually have a trick where I used to count the number of drinks I had. If I had 2, I was fine. If I had 3, it was going to be an interesting night. So it affects our mental health and well-being. We know that, right? Sometimes that's why we have a drink, because we need to take the edge off. It increases our chance of getting different types of diseases. It adds empty calories. And for some of us that are vertically challenged, you don't really need an extra 1,000 calories of beer in any given day, or wine or alcohol, whatever you choose to drink. I adopted no calories in my liquid beverages rule for myself a long, long time ago. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the occasional glass of red wine because red wine is actually good for me. And it's good for my heart, it's good for my blood, it's good for everything. But to me, that means I maybe have a half a dozen a year, spread out over the course of a year. How many alcoholic drinks do you actually consume? You don't have to quit drinking entirely. I enjoy wine with my mom and my sisters every once in a while. But I'm not going to slam down a bottle or even, I don't even remember the last time I had 2 glasses of wine. It's been a while. Probably my nephew's wedding. That would probably be the last time, which was, 2 years ago. More than that, it was 3 years ago. So today we're just going to do an assessment of where we're at with this. I challenge you to be super honest with yourself and ask yourself, am I setting the example for the people in my organization, or am I being a warning? Because remember, the number of people that you engage with or that see you matters because you're impacting them whether you are aware of it or not. And some people are super impressionable. So what are some things we can do as a business and pay attention to with respect to this? Don't have events that are centered around alcohol. Now, again, throughout my corporate career, I worked for companies that were centered around alcohol, and I worked for companies that weren't. I also worked for a big industrial bakery. There were one of the first things I observed there, you could tell the people that consumed the products, because we could pretty much have whatever we wanted in the break room. There was always, seconds, we called them as a quality manager. And so we would take this stuff to the break room, and people could eat it on their breaks, etc. But you could tell the difference because the people that consumed those products were significantly heavier than the people that did not. And I made a decision as soon as I started working there that I was not going to be a huge consumer. Now keep in mind I had to do a cutting every morning of all the different products. That's a tasting quality check meeting, and we were supposed to check and taste everything every day. So I learned to do the taste and spit in the cup thing pretty quickly. So I want you to do that honestly. Honestly assess your culture and how much alcohol plays a part in it, if it even does. I don't think alcohol played a part in any of my businesses. We'd have Christmas parties and things, and people could have a drink, but that was the extent of it. We didn't have a culture of alcohol. Now, keep in mind, I was also in the liquor business, and so I want people to consume alcohol, right? Peak performance and heavy drinking do not mix. They don't coexist. If you look at the most successful people, you could start with Donald Trump, and you can agree or disagree, and I don't care what your opinion is of him. He does not drink. I don't think that's a coincidence in the level of success he has. I don't know about Elon Musk. I don't know if he drinks or not, but I'm going to suspect that he does not consume alcohol. Any other person that's super duper successful probably is not a big heavy drinker. Prove me wrong on that. Give me some examples in the comments below. All right, so what are we going to do with this today? I want to share the Head Heart Intuition tool because I think this is one of the most powerful tools in not only choosing among alternatives, which is how I usually teach it, but in self-awareness and self-evaluation. I think we should think about our alcohol consumption the last month. Let's just think about the last month worth of alcohol consumption and be brutally honest, but evaluate it with your head, your thinking, your heart, and your gut, your intuition. And you'll know, you already know, I don't need to tell anybody if you're consuming too much alcohol or not, or if you're doing any other thing like that that alters your body chemistry. And I always told my kids, whatever you do, don't do anything that causes irreparable damage to your body, because you only get this one body, you only get this one life. So keep that in mind in your decision making, and that's always been a core value of mine. Let's ask a couple reflective questions. If you are totally honest about how much and how often you drink, what is that? What is your number? How often? Do you drink 5 days a week? 7 days a week? I know people that drink 7 days a week. I know people that consume beer like it's water. I also know that they would be much more emotionally stable, much happier if they didn't do that, if they actually drank water instead. They'd also sleep better. They wouldn't get frustrated and as ornery. You know what I mean? All right. how does alcohol affect your sleep, your energy, your mood, your fitness goals? And then what would 30 days without alcohol do to you? What would it reveal about your health and your relationship with drinking? Okay, we're going to share in the comments below. Have you ever tried a sober month? Have you ever gone a month and said, I'm just going to not have any alcohol this month and see how you feel? Yes or no in the comments below. I'm just wondering if that might be a fun challenge for people. I think if you're a casual drinker, it's pretty easy to do that. If you have a problem, and I think that's what's good about this challenge, it will show you, nobody else is going to know, if you have an area of improvement, not necessarily a problem. If you're listening to me, you're probably a super successful business owner, and it probably isn't even an issue for you. But we're focusing on everything physical this month, so we have to talk about the things that come up for that, right? All right. I would like to invite you to the Supersize Your Business School community. I am making some changes in there. I have got to change my about page and my card and things because the school platform is advertising for us now. And mine calls out a very successful group of business owners. And I want to open that up and broaden it to business owners of all levels of success and all levels of experience. I just thought of that this morning. And so I'm going to do that. And we're going to see what happens. And then I will probably put my higher level people in a separate private group. But I just want to see if that makes a difference in the things that I'm doing and the people and the number of people that I can impact and help on the school platform. All right, if I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.